Upper Nile state. And as a result, we had a series of discussions, and the discussions concentrated around the White Army. As you know very well, there was that wild rumor, misinformation, that the army which was moving in the boats was going to Nasir to go and disarm the White Army. In that discussion, that was refuted, and it was clarified that these forces are not going for any disarmament, but going to relieve the forces that have been in Nasir for long. And this is a normal military situation, whereby a force is sent for any assignment, and after that it is relieved from that assignment and transferred to another part or area. This was the situation. In our talk, in our discussions, the IO denied knowledge or responsibility for the White Army, because we were saying, IO, this White Army is your force. It is, we know it a long time ago, before the agreement. It is one of your forces. That is a militia or a support force under your command. So please take care of these forces. Instead, they were denying responsibility. However, they promised that they will. They promised that they will talk to them so that they allow the forces to move to Nasir. This agreement was reached, and as you must have seen in the social media on the third, when we talked, myself, Potkang and Yakani, we talk about the resolutions of that meeting. It was agreed that the forces, the White Army, should withdraw to the centers, to their home areas, and that the SSPDF forces should be allowed to go and relieve their brothers and sisters in Nasir. Now, after that meeting, the opposite happened. The opposite happened. The IO, instead of talking to the forces, to those forces which are called the White Army, the White Army decided to attack Nasir garrison. They attacked it yesterday morning at 2. And by the morning, they had already captured it, and there was only left a commander plus some of his forces that were in the tanks. And these people have been resisting and defending themselves up to now in Nasir. But the rest of the forces had withdrawn. These forces, which the SPLA-IO denies now, have proved to us that they are not White Army only, but they are SPLA-IO. You might have come across a video here where they have, of course, shouting the slogans of the IO. When I shout and I say SPLA-Moye, it means that I'm a member of the SPLM. And when I shout IO, Viva, 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 it means that what? I'm a member of the IO. These are known facts. And for that matter, there is a video here which proves that the IO, the so-called IO, is not actually, or the so-called White Army, is not actually a White Army, but an IO force that attacked Nasir and captured it. Shouting Viva. These are the people who captured these artilleries. They are shouting Viva, and the IO here with us tells us that these are not our people. They are separate people. We don't know them. So we have come here. I've come here to tell you that it is the IO that violated the very agreement that we had here on the 3rd. They were denying responsibility, but now they have been betrayed by their very people. And they have now confirmed to us that they are members of the IO. This is, of course, a document that cannot be denied. So it is the IO that captured that place. Now, if it is the IO that captured that place, then what is the way forward? The way forward is that one thing to know is that here we are here as parties signatories to the agreement. The SPLA-IO is a member of is one of the signatories to the agreement. And if it is a signatory to the agreement, I call upon the members who are signatories to the agreement, and specifically to the IO, to control their forces. Control their forces and give them the necessary directives to withdraw from that place. Withdraw from that place, withdraw from Nasir, and allow the government in which they are members to continue with the relief of those forces, as was said before. We are also, as the government in which they are members, asking the IO to abide by the provisions of the agreement. If the IO believes that they are part and parcel of the current government, then there is no reason of fighting the forces of the very government in which you are a member. What took place actually was organized and coordinated from here. Because over there, what do people know about forces that are moving to Malakal, from Malakal to how do people know that these forces are moving from Malakal anywhere else? How did they know that these people, the composition of these forces comprises of Abu Shok and Agulek? What do you call it? How did they come to know all this? These are informations that go from here. And this is not for the interest of peace. It is not for the interest of the people of South Sudan. For that matter, I'm calling upon the IO to respect and abide by the provisions of the agreement. It is only when we work together that we'll be in a position to achieve this objective. This objective of moving together from here up to elections is not everybody's interest. It seems that there are parties, there are individuals or groups of people who are not interested in the implementation of the agreement in letter and spirit. Because if we implement it in letter and spirit, we will go for elections. And if we go for elections, there are certain groups there that do not want us to go for elections. And as such, they must all the time start with obstruction. They must all the time obstruct any processes so that we extend again. You know very well we have been extending. This is the 3rd extension now. Or is it number 1? This is the 3rd, I believe. We are not ready for a 4th extension. And as such, these people who are obstructing all these are groups who do not want us to go for elections. We are determined to go for elections. So my message to the public through you is this, that the government is still in full control. The government is in full control of the situation, and we are in the process of addressing the situation in Nasir. Number two, my advice to the public is that they should not listen and be agitated by this negative propaganda, which is going on in the social media. This negative propaganda, where everybody sits in his own room and he sends out very wild rumors. And people come and read them and say, this is very dangerous. These are individuals who are acting in that way. Don't be agitated. Don't listen to these wild rumors which are being spread in the social media. Avoid them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when they don't find any support or any sympathy, they will definitely stop from doing all that they are doing. My third point is to the users of the social media. I'm warning everybody, any user of the social media, to refrain from this negative use of the social media. Hate speech, you know very well, is not wanted. We don't want all these negative approaches. What we want is peace. We are supposed to use our social media for peace and harmony, for peace and peaceful coexistence, not to agitate war and encourage lawlessness and disorder. So the social media houses are advised to abide by the law and respect the use of the social media responsibly. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you will find yourself in conflict with the law. But then matter go turn it to gulena, walai se janunile, wadonifi makamale. Because this time we will take people to the court. There will be no mileage again, because we have been talking for long and we have been warning people against the abuse of the media, of the social media. So this time, if you happen to be in conflict with the law, be ready to face it. This is my warning to everybody who is a user of the social media. In addition to that, the Article calls upon the partner member of the partner member of the Article, who is the SPLA-IO, to control and restrain its forces and respect and abide by the resolutions of the 3rd of March 2025. Resolutions with our Lombardi, which was agreed yesterday. Yesterday we talked to the media and it was just thrown away the same day. There is need to respect it and abide by it. Not that only. But what had happened actually is that the IO, the leadership of the IO here, had contacted the commander of the SSPDF, who is still in the garrison. They contacted him to surrender to the IO forces. Contacted him. Commander of the SSPDF was contacted. For your own safety and life, you surrender yourself to the SPLA-IO. And as you have known here, the SPLA-IO is whom? It is the White Army. The commander refused and rejected the offer. He is still resisting and is still continuing in his base. Efforts are underway to rescue him. Anyway, we are making efforts to address that situation. That is the situation in which we are. So we call upon the IO member, IO, to control its and restrain its forces so that they respect the provisions of the agreement. The Artigono head, which is headed by His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit, is committed to peace and implementation of the agreement in letter and spirit. Any attempts by any party to derail the implementation of the agreement will not be tolerated. We'll make sure that the agreement is implemented in letter and spirit so that we go for elections. This is what we are saying, and the government is committed to that, and we make sure that the agreement is implemented in letter and spirit. And this despite the hurdles and the obstructions being made. And as such, we follow what the president announced to us earlier. He said, I will never take you back to war. In short, he said, no going back to war. And I'm here to announce it, to repeat it again, that we are not going back to war, but we make sure that the agreement is implemented in letter and spirit to the end. Thank you very much. Are in conflict with the law.
So they have been arrested?
Yes, there is no joke about that. Because what we need is security. And as such, if anybody is arrested, you must have been arrested because of a reason.
So how many of them?
That is not your concern. That was your question. Your question is answered. Yes. Yes. That is enough. These questions have been asked. All these questions are what is in your mind. You want to ask me in another way, just a question of rewording, but the questions are the same. Okay, in terms of the fear in Juba, the people of Juba aslan million malawel mon kai. This is what had been happening here in Juba. Even when you hear lo Arabia das Cristal, two people will start running. This is the nature of the people in Juba. I don't know why are they traumatized. And they all the time tend to believe that whatever happens in Juba will be a problem. This is why we are assuring the people in Juba in particular that there is nothing, itanum mafia mushkila. Because if we are to talk about the situation in Juba, the situation in Juba is made to be fragile specifically by certain elements so that people all the time live in fear. But after all, why are people fearing? How many times did the people of Juba start running? Just because if I see you today running, for any other reason you are running after something, then people will start to run also because he is running. That is a very serious situation. They are halabata Juba. They are syndrome psychosis, syndrome psychological problem. And they are all the time on the run. So this is why I'm saying, let me assure the people of Juba in particular, and the people of South Sudan in general, that there is no fear. Don't fear. Don't rely on all this nonsense that you read in the social media. Because when you run, at the end of the day, you start running, and when you stop, you find that people are not running. Then you begin to, and you feel shy because you did not know why did you run. The best thing always is to, before you run, you need to know why are you running. The fact that Michael Makuei is running this way, then you start running because Michael is running, is not correct. You are supposed to know yourself first, know the reason why people are running, or know the reason why Mr. X is running, so that I can also run. In case I'm convinced that there is a danger coming, there is an imminent danger, then I run. But the people of Juba, they just run for the sake of running. I remember very well when we were in the liberation struggle, There was somebody, a soldier. He went to the officer and he stood on attention. Yes, sir. I'm complaining against this man of the MI, military intelligence. Girl, this man is running after me every time. And the officer said, but where are you running? Why are you running? Because if he's running after you, man, it means that you have been running. Why are you running? He said, I did not run. I said, okay. If you have not done anything, why should you fear him? This is the situation here in Juba. To what mechanisms these are security issues? Cannot give you that answer. It's not everything that must be said to the public. So that is my answer to the person of the CRN. And for Mathiang Cirillo, who is saying, why deploy people inside you? Security. My people are deployed because of your fears. Lanu, people are under tension. And when people are under tension, the only way is to deploy these forces so that you feel secure. They are not meant to threaten the public, but to relieve them and make them feel that there is a government and you are under protection. Don't fear. Those who are running are the ones being these forces are deployed in order to assure you that there is peace and stability. So Namanazu Kuni Jarin can Shaf Jesh deployed, you will feel protected. Unless it يكون عندك حاجة في نفس يعقوب زي ما بقول العرب. كان عندك حاجة تاني في قلبك. Then this is the time when you will say. So السؤال ده زي السؤال بتاع زول بتاع military intelligence اللي بقول زول ده جاري وراي. So ما في حاجة, there is no reason as to why we should question the deployment because they are meant to address any unforeseen situation. Situation الناس بتاع جوبا بيجري ده عشان ما يقولوا ما تجوا. For a person who is in conflict with the law, this is a legal language. ما بقولوا you are in conflict with the law. كان أنت داير تشرح زيادة أنت مجرم متهم. If you are in conflict with the law, معناه أنت متهم. It means that you are an accused. You are in violation of the provisions of the law. And once you are in violation of the provisions of the law, that you are automatically in conflict with the law. And if you are in conflict with the law, you are arrested and taken to the court. This is the meaning of being in conflict with the law. On the issue of surrounding of the house of Riek, why are you asking me, Ma'am Shishufu? You are a journalist, you are supposed to go there and see for yourself. Don't listen to rumors. Go there, see for yourself. If it is surrounded, you will see it. If it is not, you will see it. Why are you asking me and you don't want to go there? But this is your work as journalists. When you hear any news, you verify them by going to the site. Is it difficult for you to go to house of Riek? It is not difficult because the road is open.
Just need confirmation from U.S. government?
No, not confirmation. You go and confirm yourself. You can leave us from here now, go and see for yourself. Does it need any confirmation?
Official confirmation.
No. What do you mean by official confirmation? Will it be more official than you seeing? Wala do fati kalap. The last point is, the one before the last is, all these activities seems to be taking people back to the war. We are not taking people back to the war. This is why we are talking. If we are taking people back to the war, we'll just work in silence. And we'll not call on anybody to do whatever we think is correct. But we are calling upon the IO here because we don't want to go backward. And our president has committed himself so many times, once and every time, that I will not take you back to war. And I will never take you back to war. This is the situation. So we are not taking anybody back to war. And anybody who wants to take us back to war, he has to start it, not us. So that is the situation. On the Radio France, meeting of the presidency, will it take place again? My meetings of the presidency had ever been there. It is the president, and the president is that decide that we'll meet on this date. It is not me, because I'm not a member of the presidency. So what you are asking me is not my question. If you want to know more, wait up to the time when you will be called, and you will know that the presidency is meeting. Definitely the presidency meets. And as such, we don't need to tell you that the presidency will meet on this date or that date. No. Why have we not deployed the unified forces? We have not deployed them because you know the reason. The unified forces, we graduated them last time with the sticks. And up to now, they are still holding those sticks. Should we deploy them to Nasir, to a hot spot with the sticks? No, of course. Otherwise, you have sentenced them to death. We did not come here to sacrifice them. But we are keeping them up to the time when they are armed, and they will perform their functions and duties. As of now, they are being kept in peaceful areas, not in hot spots. They are being kept in peaceful areas with their sticks. Because up to now, I cannot say that they are full soldiers. Because a soldier without a gun is like a carpenter without tools. These people have no guns. The IO forces who went to phase 1 went there without guns. They left their guns at home and came without guns. The SSGTV forces left their guns in the barracks. And these are the people who are armed now. These are the people who are armed. These people who are armed, together with those who are not armed, are deployed in areas, in peaceful areas. So we'll take them back, we take them to Nasir when they are fully armed. We are unable to get the arms for them because of the arms embargo. We are unable to get arms for them because the implementation of the agreement from day one was wrong. These people, before they went to the Medan or to the training, they are supposed to go with their rifles to the cantonment sites. And from the cantonment sites, they hand over the rifle, they are put in the cantonment, and from the cantonment, they are taken to the training centers. And their arms are left there, kept for them. But these people decided to leave their guns at home. And they came. Then from where do we get arms for them? We cannot deploy them without arms. This is why they are not deployed. That is all that we can say about the agreement. And the last question was, what is the implication of what?
What are the implications of all these incidents?
All these incidences, all that is happening. These are more normal. These are normal ups and downs in the implementation of any agreement. So people should not just be frightened that, oh, Kalas, the agreement is collapsing. Some of these issues do strengthen the agreement. They strengthen the agreement because from here we will be moving steadily. We'll be moving steadily and there will be no more obstruction. It is only when people are not honest to one another. And there was one of the questions here which was asked as to, are people really honest? In that meeting of the 3rd, I'm sure there was no honesty. And this is where our problem is. If there was no honesty, we had agreed. Then why attack again? There was a denial of the White Army being part of the IO. And at the end of the day, you have confirmed it with this video. So I believe there was no honesty. This will teach us and will make better strategies and move forward with the implementation. Thank you very much.
Honorable,
Yes.
honorable.
No more
There is
questions.
something
No more questions.
What happened with the soldiers on the way? You didn't go to Nasir.
I said no more questions.